So, what is depression? We have an epidemic, we are told, and 1 in 4 of us will suffer from depression at least once in our lifetime. And antidepressant medication is going through the roof. So, what is depression? Well, we all have Google at our fingertips, so let's take a look. And when I put "what is depression" into Google, these are 3 of the websites that come back to me on the first page. But believe me, they all say much the same. And the first is from the American Psychiatric Association. And they tell us that depression is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects how we feel, think and act. And it can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems and can decrease a person's ability to function at work and at home. So now you know. And they also provide a list of symptoms from mild to severe. And let me say at this point that all the websites have their own lists and all are slightly different from each other, but not really. So for the American Psychiatric Association, it's feeling sad or having a depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure, changes in appetite, trouble sleeping or sleeping too much, loss of energy or increased fatigue, increase in purposeless physical activity, hand-wringing or pacing, or slowed movement and speech, feeling worthless or guilty, difficulty thinking, concentrating, thoughts of death or suicide. And this is the NHS website list of psychological symptoms. Continuous low mood or sadness, feeling hopeless and helpless, low self-esteem, tearful, guilt-ridden, irritable and intolerant of others, having no motivation or interest, finding it difficult to make decisions, not getting any enjoyment out of life, anxious or worried, suicidal thoughts. They have a list of social symptoms too, not doing well at work, avoiding contact with friends, neglecting your hobbies, difficulties at home. So now you really know. And the NHS also tells us, as do all of the others, that you can have mild, moderate or severe depression. So basically the NHS is saying nothing different from the American Psychological Association. But the NHS is also quite honest when it attempts to find reasons for depression. And you can read it here. So there's no single cause. It can occur for a variety of reasons. For some it can be stressful life events. Different causes can combine to trigger depression. People talk about downward spirals. All of this can make you worse and trigger depression. And it might have something to do with as you get older. There's some studies say that. And it's more common in people who live in difficult social and economic circumstances. Well, that's a surprise. And finally, let's look at the Mental Health Foundation. Obviously, they have their own lists of signs and symptoms. This one is a longer one, but it's really much the same. Tiredness and loss of energy, sadness, self-confidence and self-esteem, difficulty concentrating, not enjoying yourself, anxious all the time, avoiding other people, helpless and hopeless, sleeping problems, difficulty getting off to sleep or waking up much earlier than usual, guilt or worthlessness appears again, hard to function at work or college or school, loss of appetite, loss of sex drive, physical aches and pains, thinking about suicide and death, self-harm. Unfortunately, the Mental Health Foundation has got nothing of interest to say when they're talking about the causes, as all they show is another long list of things that can happen to any of us, like unemployment, family problems and so on. So basically saying nothing that we don't already know. The Mental Health Foundation also expands on the various types of depression, from mild to major, postnatal, bipolar, seasonal affective disorder. You can quickly peruse the list here, and as you do, ask yourself, is it really telling me anything that I don't already know? So there's mild depression, major depression, bipolar disorder, postnatal depression, seasonal affective disorder. Nothing you wouldn't get in a good women's magazine, I don't think. I would say the more you think about it, the more this situation is worrying and becomes even desperate too. Surely you can agree with me that none of these official and respectable websites are saying anything about what might be the real cause of these depression feelings. None of them are saying more than the bleeding obvious. And if you are depressed and you look for help from official medical sources such as these, then you will be disappointed and perhaps even more desperate. But it does not have to be this way. There is an explanation of what causes most depressions, which fits all of these ad hoc explanations into a coherent whole. Human Givens has put it all together with the central role of dreaming as the prime facilitating cause. And I will return to this shortly, but it's all on my website, here and here. And if you like this video, then do subscribe and tell your friends.